As of the recording of the date of this video, there are 3,779 internships that will be available this year, 2022, in Australia for starting the 2023 clinical year. Now, you may be interested to know how the huge number of internships, which will probably increase over the year as the year goes on, as more hospitals ask for some extra internships, is all sorted out. Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's talk a little bit about the process. So one thing that many medical students don't know about is that in the background of the process of applying and accepting offers for internship, which is done in individual states and territories in Australia, and there's a little Commonwealth process as well, is this national process going on in the background to try and streamline the whole process for you. And it's called the National Intern Audit. First thing, as I alluded to, there is no central portal, there's no central match, there's no one place that you go to on the internet in Australia when you're a final year medical student applying for an internship. What you have to do is apply to up to 9 separate jurisdictions. Most people don't apply for the whole 9, but a lot of people will apply for more than one state or territory and possibly the Commonwealth process. And that's great that you've got that option and that choice. And, like there are great user case examples here. For example, you might have grown up in New South Wales, but you happen to get a position in a medical school in Tasmania, but you would like to maybe now go back home to your home state of New South Wales and do your internship there, but you wouldn't be unhappy as plan B of doing that in Tasmania. So you're going to apply at least a couple of places in that situation. And there's lots of other different reasons why people might want to put in multiple applications, including having a bit better of a guarantee of getting an offer if you're in one of those lower priority ranking lists. So, as I said, there's maybe 3,800 odd intern positions available as of this video. Probably will maybe get close to 4,000 this year, I would think. And these posts all have to be allocated out. And each state and territory does their process of allocating and matching slightly differently. But one of the problems is that with you being able to apply to multiple jurisdictions is it's possible at various steps in the process that some people don't get an offer and some people have more than one offer. And in the old days, what would often happen is people would sit on multiple offers because there was no reason for them to decline until they heard from all the places that they had applied to. And maybe even then they might have sat on them for a little bit in order to sort of maximise their options. So they might accept one in Victoria, they might accept one in New South Wales, they might accept one in Queensland, and then they sort of wait to make up their mind because they're in a happy position. So in this scenario, we've got 3 interns that got their internship, 1 who missed out, and 1 who's currently got 3. And so you can see how that could clog things up, and we could end up at the end of the day where someone declines a couple of offers at the last minute, and the various states and territories where they declined in aren't able to fill those positions, or someone's nervously waiting till even January or February the next year to get their spot. So this kind of all came to a boil in 2010. There was this thing called the National Intern Crisis. I never really saw it as a crisis. I saw it as a problem, but there wasn't the evidence really that there were not enough internships to go around at the end of the day. However, there were rising concerns about the possibility that some medical students, particularly international students studying in Australia, might miss out on an internship in Australia. And what you need to know about the internship system is because it's a provisional year, like it's a year you must do in order to get your full licensing, your general registration, you kind of need that job. It's like an extension of your medical school training in a way. So there's always been this guarantee from Australian governments to guarantee internship. But that became a bit of a debating point as to where the guarantee lay in terms of each state and territory's responsibility and the federal government's responsibility. And so was it just for students in your own state or students from your own state, or did it include students from other states? And what about international students who generally don't pick up that guarantee? Although, and again, for international students who are not actually guaranteed an internship in Australia, they still may need that provisional year to get general registration so they can go to another country and start their career as a doctor. And without having that ability, that might affect the ability for some medical schools to sell medical degrees to international students, basically, so affecting the financial bottom line and the sort of financial capability of medical schools, who often do rely on international students to supplement their income. So this all came to a boil in 2010, and rather than saying let's just throw everything all out and do a central allocation process, etc. What happened was there was agreed change in process between all the jurisdictions. So the first thing that they agreed on was some nationally aligned offer dates. So there'd be a national dates where you could offer internships, and there'll be these pauses where you couldn't offer internships. And so what that pause allowed is there's an offer round, offers go out, accepted, and then the pause allowed to collect data about what offers have been made and what acceptances have been accepted by medical students, interns around Australia. And this was then collected by what's called a national audit team. And so that was trialled for a year. And then since then, this process has been going on because it's worked well. It's very effective in showing how many offers are out, how many multiple offers there might be on the table for certain people. And what now happens is in these pauses, that National Intern Audit team identify students that have more than one offer out to them, and they contact them, and those students are required to decide which offer they're going to accept. And the audit team will actually, on their behalf, decline all the other offers that they've been given. Now, that doesn't mean that there can't be another round where you get an offer from another state because you haven't heard from them. But if that happens again, you'll be contacted by the National Intern Audit team. So what that does is make sure that the number of vacant spots available is maximised throughout the whole process so that more people can get their offer more quickly, and we can get down the priority lists and through everyone so that everyone gets at least one offer, so that we don't hit sort of end of the year running into timelines where the medical board can't get you registered in time for starting in January and February and all those sorts of problems. At a certain point, this process runs out in about November, and it moves. There's like a handful of positions available at that point, and so that then just goes over to the individual states and territories to do what's called a late vacancy management process. So there's not, the audit team keep collecting data, but there's not this kind of pause process because they're basically just filling vacancies as they arise at that point. So that is the National Intern Audit Process. It's essentially an efficient or a way of efficiently and timely allocating intern posts, which is actually meant to help you as the medical student becoming an intern get your internship without having to stress about it, and also help the hospitals to fill their positions with, again, not having to worry at the last minute that they've got a heap of vacancies.